And welcome once again to another edition of the Game Source Podcast, numero 124. And it's a beautiful day again in paradise. And I'm here with the author of Vendetta Dark. His name is Josh Peterson.
How's it going?
And the man, the myth, the legend himself, OSU Water Polo. It's Aaron. What's up, man?
We're not going to talk about it. This is the worst D3 ever. Something tells me you're going to make me talk about that, though.
Yeah, but first we want to talk about a couple things. I want to get out of the way from our good friends at Nintendo Quest, because we are going to touch on Nintendo, but I want to make sure I don't forget the great contributions that they've helped our site with. And if you get a chance to check out their awesome documentary when it comes to a city near you, go to NintendoQuest.com for tickets because they're going to be doing screenings very soon, or as early as the latter part of next week in Beverly Hills, Las Vegas, and then the Power Tour 2015 goes on to several cities across North America. So check your local listings, and you can actually, as he talked about in one of our previous podcasts, you can actually, if you have enough people, actually get one in a town that's, well, your hometown. You just got to go out, find all the information on NintendoQuest.com, and see how you can make that happen. But I want Aaron to talk about a little bit what's coming up this weekend. Our good friends at the amazing Las Vegas Comic Con coming up this weekend here in Las Vegas. They are so gracious to allow us to go ahead and have access. We truly appreciate it. Aaron, I know you had a great time last year. I know you're looking forward to all the great things that are happening this year. A little bit more so than E3. So, can you tell us a little bit about the Las Vegas Comic Con coming up this weekend?
It's going to be down at the South Point Hotel and Casino. So the far end of town for me, so I have to drive, which sucks. But beyond that, last year we talked to a whole bunch of people on Artist Alley. A bunch of them are slated to be there again this year, so that'll be cool to see how some of the series have progressed. The big one for me is Matthew Kadish, the author of the Earthman Jack series. Last year we talked about Earthman Jack versus the Ghost Planet, the first book in the series. And we just kind of talked about what the book was about, what the science behind the book was, because, oh God, science in a book, I'm scared, and you really had nothing to be scared over. And so we went over some of that. I mean, anybody who's a fan of anything with Star in the series, you know, Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate, those sort of things, they're going to understand the science behind it. Then this year we're going to talk about the second book in this series, Earthman Jack versus the Secret Army, which is coming out in September. So we should hopefully get a review of that up when it comes out. It looks to be fairly amazing from the teasers that I've seen. But he'll be there this weekend. He won't have a booth. He'll be hanging out at his buddy's booth. So we do not know the booth number yet. His buddy has yet to inform him. So hopefully we'll have some more information on that before Friday. And we
I
can
know Primal Carnage, the folks at Studio 5 said they might be there as well. Have we confirmed that?
I have not talked to them at all, so I don't have a clue.
All right, well, then
I didn't see them on the list of people.
I'll get Nick on that with that to see if, get more questions and answers with Primal Carnage. Basically, it's been a great game that I know Chris and Corey, the CNC team, has played extensively. So, and we also got to see it at the Level Up Expo as well. I know they just had a major update, and they're also talking about the plans coming up for later this year to come to the PlayStation 4. So looking forward to that. And then all the great interviews that you are going to hopefully have for us at the show, plus lots of pictures, photos. We do have great articles coming up that are coming up here in the next couple of days, previewing the event from Jeremiah, Stephanie, and also a couple Where Are They Nows that we're going to mix in and twinkle in there, sprinkle in there from Aaron himself. So we're definitely looking forward to that. And I want to thank everybody out there for all the love they give us. I know this time of year we always spike up in as far as the reach that we have through our Game Source Facebook and Twitter pages. Which you can go to Game Source on Facebook or at Game Source on Twitter. But it has grown by leaps and bounds. We've got we're into well over 8,000 is our reach right now currently as of this taping. So we're really happy and very appreciative to you out there for everything that we're posting, whether it's an article from somebody else within the industry, or whether it's posting our podcasts, our videos, our thoughts, our ads for Nintendo Quest, Retro City Games, Las Vegas, or what have you. We just really appreciate it.
We're almost actually at 9,000 now.
Yeah, so that's really
Just
great.
shy
That's really
of.
great. I would have started this podcast sooner, but yeah, Angry Nick, he kept me on the phone with a whole bunch of topics to be angry about. So I wish he would have been saying this stuff yesterday. That's all I say. But there was some stuff going on this morning because our friends at Nintendo and Square Enix did have their pressers and showed off some of their wares, and I agree with Aaron. Nintendo always finds the most creative ways now since they've gone to a digital event to, even though they have a presence on the show floor during that time, they always have a great starting point that makes them a little bit more appealing to start off with than their competitors. And I agree with you, Aaron. That really was a tremendous way to start off the show, don't
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think?
The puppets
Yes,
of the three main Nintendo people, Iwata,
Reggie.
Reggie, and then oh my God, I'm spacing out Miyamoto-san,
Yep.
and turning them into the Star Fox characters. I mean, you knew as soon as Miyamoto had the nose, the wolf nose on, I knew immediately it was going to be a Star Fox thing. So at that point, that was the coolest thing I saw all weekend. Was that maybe not the Star Fox game, just the reveal of the Star Fox game.
Yeah, and I've already seen a lot of the feedback online. I this game has been in development well over. We heard about rumors of it being shown in bits and pieces at last year's podcast. Josh, what were your thoughts on it? Because I know industry wide, so far the feelings have been mixed per se. But I'm just excited to have a Star Fox being some type of format on a newer system today.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people are excited to know that it exists now. I'm not a big Nintendo person, but if something were to bring me to buy the Wii U, it would be Star Fox.
But no Rumble Pack included, I'm sorry.
In 64 days.
Yes, yes, thought I'd throw that one out there.
But isn't the
Uh,
Rumble Pack built in already?
yes, but that was just.
So it
But
has a Rumble Pack. You can't make comments like that. It has a Rumble Pack.
extra Rumble Pack, how about that? Fair enough.
Not one that
Exclusive one.
actually pull off.
Yes, yes. Uh, but I just want to touch on some of the most thing that was impressive to me was the lineup of 3DS games. I know you and I touched on it before we got on the air. Differentiating between something specific to the new 3DS or something that worked for all 3DSs. And I thought I might have missed it, but yet apparently there everything is that the full lineup of games that were shown were coming out for any 3DS system,
Which is
if
how it
I'm not
should be.
mistaken. It's just how it should be. Absolutely, I agree with you. And
I mean, they announced last year that the new 3DS was not going to be a new system. It was just going to be an upgraded system along the lines of a terabyte hard drive for an Xbox One or something like that, or going with the slim PS2 or PS3, or something along those lines. The Wii Mini, it's technically the same system. It just has slightly different features. And yeah, once in a while there might be a game that only works with that, but it's not going to be, the norm. It's going to be the exception.
But I
So,
think
I mean, I
that's
was
what.
I was not in shock to not see anything.
But no, I was. That's just. It was just most impressive to me because I really think that Nintendo has. It's like I said on previous podcasts. I've not been the strongest Nintendo supporter over the past couple of years because of the way they've mis,
The entire time I've
handled.
known you.
Well, no, no. As I've owned three Nintendo systems, so let's not say that entirely. So,
3 Nintendo systems out of what are we at? Like
hey,
16, 17?
that's
Lot.
as many as any others I've had. So, three Xbox, as far as it's concerned,
In half the
three
time.
Sony. Well, what are we gonna do?
You've had more than three
I'm just
Sony
telling you,
systems.
I'm keeping an open mind. So you're the one that's bashing now. So yeah, I'm trying to keep an open mind here. I'm just There are business decisions. You've got to admit when you're losing a lot of money like they have been before. They've turned it around starting with last year's digital event, which you called it, by the way, and you spoke very well of them, and their digital event was really very well done last year. And since then, they've carried that momentum through the rest of the year, and they are now a profitable company again. And I'm the first to pat them on the back because they've done such a great job in doing that. And it really turned things on from just a couple of years ago. But the thing that stuck out to me was the impressive array of 3DS software that's coming out. But I'm kind of worried as far as for the long haul for the Wii U. They did have some great titles coming out. Obviously, the Animal Crossing title that's going to work cohesively with the Amiibos coming out later this year.
Yay, more
Um,
amiibos.
yes, more. There's
Scalpers are
more.
happy, but I think consumers are not.
eBay is going to be very happy here very shortly. So
Absolutely.
yes, Josh, what were your thoughts on we talked a little bit about the Wii U uh, from your vantage point as far as being attractive to you to buy or not. What about the 3DS as far as all the games that come out, like the Zelda game that's coming out that is going to incorporate a lot more co-op. And then just a whole host of titles coming to 3DS, which makes it look forward to something to look forward to for handheld fans.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have much time to play handheld. I would like to. The Zelda looks fun. I think that if they had as far as co-op gaming goes on handheld, I think I would be more inclined to buy it. More people would be inclined to buy it. But as far as the games coming out, I think Zelda looks really good. They have some the Mario ones. I don't really know too much about the handhelds though.
Well, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, obviously, bringing down Hyrule Warriors from the Wii U to the 3DS was also a nice little addition as well, because that was a pretty good title for them on the Wii U. Just a whole host of titles. And then, like I said, The Legend of Zelda, Triforce Heroes, something definitely to look forward to for Nintendo fans. Um, and then I'm just worried about long term for the Wii U. If you buy a Wii U this holiday, that there's not going to be much to support it after the new year. But there's a lot of great titles there already that's on the system. So if anybody's on the fence, now or hopefully they should have announced to me even a small price cut to accommodate fans when they know NX could be around the corner in the next couple of years or
NX
so.
is years away,
You hope
just like
so.
the PS5 and the next Xbox.
You hope
So
so. You hope so.
there
I
is
hope so
no
too.
hope so. It is at least probably 2018 at the closest.
I may say holiday 2017. How about that?
Maybe in Japan, maybe, but
That I agree with you. That I agree
they've
with you.
never shown a system and not had it come out at least 2 years later, and
Well,
they did not show the system.
then so you don't have any concerns as far as
Nope,
Nintendo not showing anything for 2016?
We have all these
no,
new
they
consoles
never
out.
do.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a Zelda game coming. There is a Mario Galaxy game in the works. There is okay, so 2 games. But I mean, still, that's all Nintendo usually has is 2 or 3 games per
Should
year
they
that
should
are
they maybe
blockbusters.
should they maybe have established maybe a little bit better third party um, array of titles maybe that would have been maybe help
Hey,
cushion the
they
blow?
showed third-party titles during that. So, I mean,
Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is already out in Japan, which is not coming out here until
it's
December.
a first-party game,
Yes,
but they showed the Skylander with
which
exclusive
looks great,
features.
by the way.
And I
Again,
think the Nintendo version of Skylanders is looking oh wait, that was Disney Infinity for Sony. Never mind.
that's
But I
correct.
still think I mean just what they showed. I feel
And the
Nintendo had the better exclusives to me, even though they're different games.
with the Skylanders adding the two characters from Nintendo and
And the
getting
two
that bundle.
cards, and that's
Yes.
just what they announced here.
Yeah.
Odds are there's a Mario, there's the Luigi, there's a Princess Peach. They're probably going to be there. And that they double as amiibos is awesome. And maybe Skylanders will go ahead and make me Marth, Ike, Robin, and Lucina, and I'll be happy, and then I'll buy a Skylanders thing. But they also showed Shin Megami Tensei versus Fire Emblem, which is third
That's
party.
correct.
Um, I want to say there was one other one, but it might have been during the Treehouse that I was watching after. So I don't remember which was the presser and which was Treehouse. So, but I mean, they've shown me enough that I'm going to be looking at 4 games next year for the Wii U. That's one a quarter, which is on average what people buy, is 1 game a quarter. So
But they cater
I'm
to
not too
specific.
worried.
But they cater to specific tastes. They don't cater.
So does the Xbox, so does the PlayStation. They cater to hardcore gamers. The Wii U is catering to casual gamers. It's just a different piece of the pie.
Well, that's why they are what they are, my friend. No worries, Josh. Your thoughts on that before we head over to Square Enix?
I would have liked to see some new franchises outside like the Mario, Star Fox, just the things that have been associated with Nintendo. Like, show me something new that wows me. That's what I was hoping for, but I'll take Star Fox.
No, that's something long-standing that a lot of people have talked about in the past 10 years is establishing new IPs like Splatoon, which has really been a very nice hit for them. A very
But
good
how
game.
many times does a company come out with the new IP? I mean, Nintendo's had, what, 3, 4 in the last decade? How
Sony's had
many other
quite a few.
companies can say that?
Sony's the master of throwing darts on the wall and just seeing what sticks. I'm just telling you, for every Uncharted that they've
And
had.
how many of them stick? Almost none. Nintendo's have almost all
And
stuck.
I'd be the first to agree with you there, because Sony just like, with all their
They're not even
concepts.
throwing darts in the direction of the dartboard half the
Yes,
time. I
There's
mean,
no
yeah,
wall.
Patapon was amazing, but I mean, they've done nothing for the portable system. You notice they didn't show a single, other than in the
they have
quick
that Vita.
reel of indie things, which does not
Yeah,
count, and
they
a
have
couple
that
mentions of
Vita
it's
right
coming
there.
on PS4 and Vita, but
I'm going to
other
show.
than that, they
I'm
didn't
going to
show the
show.
Vita.
I'm going to show the Vita longer than Sony did at its press conference. So I will go
Okay,
ahead
you've
and I'll
already
show it right there.
you've
That
beat
was
them.
it. Yes, I beat them. But
And last year and the year before that, the 3 years
so,
combined, I think just beat them.
so Nintendo, like I said, for this year, that's very definitely a great year. Could be shaping up to be a great year, a very very great year for them. Mario Maker looks outstanding. Xenoblade Chronicles X.
And if Mario
Uh,
Maker picks up online, I mean, I'm sure you guys haven't played it, but Donkey Kong, is it Counting Stars? Collect something along those lines, where you create levels and you post them online, and people rate you um, based on how good your map is, and then you get more things to unlock more stuff and go. I think Mario Maker, if it even has that same type of fan base that just creates so much content, the way that Little Big Planet or Mon Nation Racers did, being Mario, it could do a lot be a lot more fun.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Well, I had mentioned yesterday that in part of our conversations in our podcast yesterday about Just Cause 3, I was actually looking at some footage, and while I was doing that during our previous podcast, so I apologize for that because Just Cause 3 was definitely a part of the Square Enix conference, which was today. And Josh, your thoughts on Hitman? Obviously, Kingdom Hearts 3, Hitman being episodic, obviously Tomb Raider, and a lot of great things happening at Square Enix. Near 2, which I know got a lot of hardcore fans excited as well. So, if your thoughts on the Square Enix conference?
I think Hitman 2 looks impressive. I wish they would have elaborated on that whole if you miss your target, they vanish like and they just die some other way. I wish they would have elaborated a little more on what that means.
I think that means it's going to be like some games have like a weekly quest where you have a week to go do them and then they never show up again. I think what this is going to be is, they said a couple of days. So if you have target XYZ and you go out and you like get caught or they realize you're there and he escapes, you don't kill that guy. Whatever the reward for killing him is, you do not get. If you're on vacation for a week, you've missed him. You know.
You don't get another chance to kill him then.
Exactly. It's a one-time deal to do something like that. So I think that's off-putting to me. It's awesome in one respect that they're forcing you to play, but I also feel that forcing you to play every week and not having a chance to make it up later is quite annoying.
Sounds frustrating.
Yeah, I mean I don't mind. You miss him, you have to wait 6 months. You have to wait a year. Whatever, and you miss out on the rewards. So if it's like the best sniper rifle in the game for that year, you're behind everybody else. But I do like the idea of it being, limited once in a while, that you can't just go and absorb all the game at once. But I mean, if you're in the military and you're overseas, yeah, you've got systems, but a lot of times they don't have access to the internet, so these guys are missing out. I would be fairly annoyed with not being able to do that content, when I came back from a tour or something. So that just, it seems odd that it's once and done and not once and done for a while. I think I'd prefer that, it'll show up again next year.
Yeah, like they'll give you another chance to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but not for I'm okay with not being able to do it for a very long period of time, 6 months or a year. I don't expect, I missed this guy this weekend, it'll be the guy I see next weekend. No, it'll be the guy I see in 6 months or a year. I'd be more okay with that.
What were your guys' thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3, Aaron? Yeah, are you really digging the way it's shaping up, or is it something that you want to see a little bit more of?
I don't know. I never could get into the Kingdom Hearts 3 series. It was just too boring for me, too action-oriented for a Square game. And it just, I don't know, it never hooked me the way I felt it should. I didn't even finish the first game. It was too boring for me. So I know people are hyped for it. A whole bunch of my friends are like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But you knew it was coming. I mean, they leaked days ago that it was going to be here. The only reason Square would have a press conference would be for Kingdom Hearts 3. So, I mean, it's not like I was in shock by it. I really wasn't impressed by it. It didn't look that good. I just, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old and bitter and Angry Nick is rubbing off on me.
Could be. Could be. Josh, what were your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3?
I think it looks good. I got about halfway through the first one and I never finished it, but I'd be willing to give it another whirl with this one. I like the idea because I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy, so I like the idea of the Final Fantasy characters being in the same game with the Disney characters. So that's what would pull me to it.
Fair enough. It looks good to me as well. Not earth-shattering by any stretch, because
No.
Aaron said, we knew it was coming. We knew it was going to be shown in some form or fashion. Um, I'm just looking forward to the day we can get our hands on it and just being able to play it to see if it truly is worth the extended wait that Square Enix is putting us through on that one. And I know Josh and I talked about this on last night's podcast, but Aaron, I wanted to hear your thoughts on the Final Fantasy VII. Doing a just remake, as opposed to what was going to be released on the PlayStation 4 and PC earlier this year. They've decided to renege that and go, in the direction that they should have in the first place. Your thoughts?
I think the Final Fantasy port, HD Master, whatever they wanted to call it, was testing the waters, and they're like, okay, if we get X number of people thrilled, yeah, we'll release it. If we get Y number of people thrilled, yeah, we'll release it. Maybe add in some extra content, kind of like, what was it, Final Fantasy IV After Years. And if we get Z number of people excited, screw it, we're remaking the game. Um, and I think they hit like quadruple Z.
You and I were in that audience, so you.
Yeah, and
we're,
I mean,
we're
I
part of
wasn't.
the meme. We're part of the
Why
meme thing.
everybody's going crazy over a port that I can play on like 12 different systems, I don't know. But they were all super duper excited for it. Well, this warrants the excitement that announcement had. You know,
Again,
I'm
let's
not
go back to
completely
what we were
thrilled
like
with it
back
because we
then.
knew it was coming. You know,
Let's flash back to December at the PlayStation Experience. Here's Aaron and I in that crowd.
no, I turned and said, "Who cares?"
A lot of people cared, and they were really
I
upset
know
about it.
people care, and I will be getting this game. Do not get me wrong, I will be getting this game.
Doesn't
But
it
I
seem
was
kind
still
of
expecting something mind blowing from Square, and they didn't give me anything that blew my mind. I mean, I sat through that press conference, and I'm like, okay, Tomb Raider clone, Tomb Raider clone, Tomb Raider clone, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Star Ocean.
Your thoughts?
Okay, why did I sit here for an hour and a half for what I already knew was coming?
What about Shenmue 3, which you and I both heard the rumors that even up 24 hours earlier that it might be coming back in some form or fashion.
I've heard rumors about Shenmue on Kickstarter for about 8 months now. So the thing that was shocking to me was not the announcement, but that Sony put it like 5 minutes in their press conference. It was like, okay,
Well, I think
why did
Josh,
we why did we waste 5 minutes of our time announcing that? Because it's not even exclusive to the PlayStation. So, yay.
they showed a
well,
lot of things that they showed at the Sony conference. It was basically just a rehash
Yeah.
yesterday.
Well, I don't think they're concerned. Either Xbox or PlayStation 4 are even concerned about if a title goes to PC. I don't really think they're even concerned at all about that marketplace as being a true competitor to them. I think they're only talking about in the realm of each other.
Console
Uh,
exclusives. Yeah.
yeah,
And that's really what E3 has devolved into is one-upping each other on who can use the word console holiday this year exclusive. Because there were, I think Microsoft had like 4 games that were like holiday 2015 console exclusive, which to me means it's coming out on the PlayStation 4. So, oh, I wait 6 months, get the definitive edition, the Game of the Year edition with all the DLC, all that for the same price you got it 6 months earlier. I can wait, or vice versa, on some of them. Nobody is really just going out there and taking a risk. I mean, I remember, God, years ago when they announced Little Big Planet, and my jaw hit the floor. And then they showed other things, and I had to go back and watch it because my jaw was still on the floor from Little Big Planet. Nothing has done that to where 20 minutes later I was still freaking out, you know? I mean, the Zelda game, it was like, oh my god, a new Zelda game, and then they went into Metroid, and I'm like, I already forgot about the Zelda game. Final Fantasy VII Remake, oh my god, yay, and then they do Shenmue, and I had already forgot about Final Fantasy VII. Um, I just, I don't think that the companies are taking the risks that they need to. They're just in the business of printing money right now, and they're not really doing anything innovative. I mean, sure, they're all doing VR, but who cares? VR is still
VR
probably
expensive.
VR isn't even going to be this gen, I don't think, if or the very tail end of this generation.
Well,
Um,
Project Morpheus has been announced for early next year. Same thing with Oculus Rift.
yeah.
I just
Rift was also announced for 2012, 2013, and 2014.
I just
So
well, to me, it's just when it comes to VR, if it's something that to me, it's just like Kinect. It's just like PlayStation Move. Pretty much any other add-on that you're trying to put on to a console system. If it's
it's
not
not going to work.
affordable, it's not going to work. It's
It
not going
has
to be fun.
nothing to do with affordable. They could give it away. But if it does not come as part of the system bundled when it is first launched, it's going to kill itself. You saw it with Kinect. They didn't launch it with a system, and it tanked. And then they tried to remedy that by launching it with this system, and
Okay.
everybody
Well,
was already like, Kinect
well, that was with Xbox
sucks.
One. With the 360, it did spike for a short period of time, very high numbers,
Well,
and then
so
it
did
went.
the PlayStation Move, and
Pushing the motion game.
let's go back in time, and the Rumble Pack, and all sorts of, except the PlayStation 2 network adapter. Those things saw a spike, but they never really latched on, because if you do not launch an accessory at the launch of a system and have at least 2 or 3 titles at launch that absolutely show off how amazing it isn't going to work. You can't add an accessory in late because most people don't care at that time. They don't want to change how they play. You've got to do it at the start of the system, like the Wii did with the motion controls,
That's
or
true.
the DS with 2 screens, or the 3DS with 3D. The Vita had the touchpad, though. To counter my own point, the Vita had the touchpad on the back, and it didn't take off. But none of the developers, to include Sony, did anything mind-blowing with that, other than there might have been a really dirty game at the launch of the system that people giggled over. But that was really it.
So let's wrap things up here. So Josh, your thoughts on not only just the day, but your E3 2015 experience after seeing virtually all the conferences. I know the PC is gaming is going to have a conference tonight, and we'll cover that on our Game Source Facebook page. But your thoughts on E3 2015?
Yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot that thrilled me. There's a lot of games I'm excited to play. Deus Ex is one of them, and yes, I was excited about the Final Fantasy remake. Halo 5 looks good. Gears 4 looks good. Mass Effect, I'm hoping to hear more about soon. Um, it was the E3 that I expected it to be. It wasn't anything that changed my world or blew my mind or anything. How about you guys?
I think some of the new IPs were interesting. Recore, depending on, because they could take that game so many different ways because they didn't show gameplay.
They
But
didn't really say too much about it. That was the problem.
yeah, I mean, is it going to be a shooter game with a companion? Is it going to be, more of a Tomb Raider Uncharted style game? Is it going to be a role playing game? I mean, I don't know, but I think the concept of building that blue core and putting it into other things as you go throughout the game, and having that be the major mechanic for puzzle solving, could be kind of cool. It just depends on what the other half of the game is, because I don't think it's going to be a straight up puzzle game. I don't think Sony would have put that much time into it during their conference if it was just a puzzle game. Um, so that looked interesting. Oh shoot, what was the game we were talking about on the Facebook page? Wasteland or something?
Well, I
Horizon.
know. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Was it
Uh,
Horizon?
yeah, Horizon. Um, that looks interesting. Um, depending on how they take that, I think Skynet happening and then us becoming primitive again and having to go through evolution is kind of cool, but I think they're going to unfortunately keep it, just in that primitive area. We're not going to get to see humanity grow, learn from its mistakes and things like that. Or even cooler would be to see humanity grow over time and have it happen again, because it's, and make a point on the inevitability of humans destroying themselves. Um, and then the gameplay on that looked interesting, with the grapple hook, which we also saw in Just Cause 3, but that looked interesting. The biggest shock to me was Sunday, Bethesda's conference, getting outshadowed for me by the announcement of Earthbound Beginnings for the Wii U, which is Mother 1, for the first time in North America. So that was pretty big to me. Like, I stopped what I was doing, turned on my Wii U, and bought the game immediately when I saw the announcement. Um, and that's the only thing that really, like, I haven't pre-ordered anything yet that was announced here. I'm sure I'll get Final Fantasy VII. I'll probably get Star Ocean. I'll probably get the Zelda game, but I don't think there was anything that was an absolute must-buy or an absolute system seller to me across any of the conferences so far. But that was
Well,
me.
for myself, Uncharted 4 looked amazing. It clearly stood out head and shoulders above pretty much any title for me, as well expected. Mass Effect Andromeda, I'd like to see a lot more. I also liked the potential that Recore and Horizon had. For Honor, seemed very good as well. I look forward to the potential of that game. And then also as well, Just Cause 3, of course. That's a great title to be expected. Gears 4 looked very promising as well. I can't wait for the collection to come out and suffer the many painful deaths. But Gears 4 looked very great, looked very good as well. And then Halo 5 Guardians seemed to be a lot more appealing to me than what Halo 4 was. It seems to be headed back into a decent direction. So well, I think that's going to do it for podcast number 124. Want to thank Aaron and Josh for being a part of the program. If you get a chance, give us a shout out at GameSource on Twitter, GameSource on Facebook, GameSource on YouTube, and of course our home site, yourgamesource.com. We truly appreciate you being a part of the podcast, watching, and then also listening if you get a chance as well. Later this month, we're going to be in mass, not only at the game night at Retro City Games here in Las Vegas, but also we're going to be a part of the screening of Nintendo Quest here at UNLV. For more information, NintendoQuest.com. Again, we just so glad to be a part of it. Josh, if you get a chance, read Josh's book, Vendetta Dark. That's going to be available. It is available already on Amazon, so get your copy today. And
Isn't
he
there a
just brought up
deal
that
with that?
yes, there is. If you buy the digital copy, you get the physical copy for $1 more. Is that correct?
$1. Yep.
It's a great deal on a great book, so I suggest you look for Vendetta Dark on Amazon. So that's going to wrap it up for us today on our thoughts with Nintendo, Square Enix, and E3 as a whole. We truly appreciate your time, and keep following us on GameSource of Facebook and Twitter because there's a lot more action to come. We've got some great stuff coming up this weekend with the amazing Las Vegas Comic Con and some great stories for the rest of this week. So once again, this is Gerald, better known as Yes Elvis Lives. Josh
Thanks, guys. Happy E3.
and Aaron.
Stay in school, don't do drugs.
Fair enough. It's a beautiful day in paradise. We'll see you later.